Welcome to the two.
Sandals and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 244. Back here on a Monday, playing with some cool toys back from LA and calling the ISFA World Cup National Championship Tournament qualifying game. That was very interesting. My name is Tony Sanchez, along with Alejandro El Chiva Villaseñor. We're coming at you from the southernmost part of the United States, the most southwesterly soccer podcast on earth in America, continental America.
How are you doing, man?
Good. We're going to go ahead and talk some soccer in San Diego because San Diego Wave has had a very good couple of days, bouncing back, getting a victory against Portland. A lot of offense, preparing for a match in Vancouver. We spoke to Landon Donovan and Maya Jones not too long ago, looking at a watch I'm not wearing. Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk about that with the great and powerful editor-in-chief of San Diego Football, Abraham Zepeda, which, by the way, congratulations to you, Chiva. San Diego Football has made it to 1,000 subscribers.
Woo!
That's you. All your hard work, Chiva. We're also going to talk San Diego FC. We're going to talk about the Supporters Union Rally coming up. We're going to have a special guest to give us all the details on what's happening. If you want to join a union, if you want to join a union, go for it. 100%. All power to you. Power to the proletariat. But if you want to join the Supporters Union, there's going to be details. There's going to be an event coming up, and we'll talk a little bit of SDFC. Just things are rolling in a lot of senses. We'll do Call of the Sirens today, and just overall get into goals, gaffes, and greats. Welcome everybody on Instagram, Twitter, not Instagram because I haven't gone live on Instagram. Punto. It happens.
You heard a lot of those this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So first of all, congratulations to you again. You did it. You told me I'm gonna do it, man. It's you watch the day that we get 1,000 subscribers. One thing with us in hitting 1,000 subscribers is that here's like a behind the whatever look at something that you and I have always talked about, and it's a weird competitive aspect, whether it's like other podcasts that come up and it's like, hey, like let's go, let's sharpen each other up and diamonds cut diamonds type situation. I never wanted to get more videos than we had subscribers on YouTube. At some point it got very close, but to this day that's not the case. Back with a good loot of subscribers from a lot of great people that we met up in Los Angeles for the ISFA, the International Street Soccer Federation World Cup National Qualifiers that saw teams from all over the country converge in this cool space. It's called Evolve Soccer LA. It's like 5 minutes
cool arena
away from Dodger Stadium, way too close to there. It did not good juju at all. But in any case, we were invited to do commentary again. We weren't planning on producing the entire thing. It was just kind of a put together of different things. We got there, Chiva, and it was locked. This venue was locked, and we had to wait. We had a conversation with a couple cool people out there. Hilton, who hooked it up with the camera, a red camera. His camera alone was worth more than
Our whole setup.
And the setup that we've it's incredible. And just, hey, does it work on HD on a Cam Link? Yes, it does. We'll get into a lot of that towards the end of the end of the episode, because it does have to do with San Diego FC in a way, the results of that, and we'll talk about it in goals, gaffes, and greats. Here in about a couple minutes, 8:30, we'll talk with Tanya from the Sirens in the Hall of the Sirens to get her take, because I know she's a very, very intense Maria Sanchez fan. And so with Maria Sanchez's success and the way that Wave is playing, I'm curious to see what the fan perspective is from that. But with that, I have somebody here coming up who is not a fan of a lot of things, actually. I've come to know this individual rather intimately, not physically, just in knowing him, the type of person he is, what makes him tick. Yeah, he was my co-color commentator yesterday at San Diego's, your girlfriend's favorite soccer team, Internacional, San Diego Internacional for UPSL, because I did arrive an hour later than I should have. That's gaff. That's my gaff.
That's a gaff. You guys are the gaff, for
sure. But in any case, we're going to welcome the only, if not the most respectable part of this whole operation, San Diego Punto Football, is our editor-in-chief. You can find his articles on San Diego Punto Football. That is the website where we are starting to build something special. Something's a cook in there. Welcome on to the podcast, Senor Abraham Cepeda. Abraham. Abe. Up.
What's up, Abe?
What's up? Glad to be here. Glad to talk. I don't think you know me intimately. I think you know me. I don't think you can say intimately yet. I don't know you guys intimately.
See, I set you up for a perfect opportunity to say, you think you know me, and then just do a WWE Edge intro.
Oh, God damn it. Guys, I'm letting everyone know right now. We meet like before the podcast, obviously, and just prep and talk about what we're going to talk about and whatnot. But for the last like 20 minutes before we went live, Abe and Tony were talking in wrestling voices. And
we're cutting promos is what we were doing for soccer in San Diego, because that's what it deserves.
I was just in my own world, ignoring the shit out of them.
Abe, welcome on again, the most respectable part of San Diego Punto Football here. So we talk about San Diego Wave in exciting terms now. No more doom and gloom, it seems, for a season that was much thought lost. Might I remind our audience here that I was always positive on this front. Knew that this would happen. Coach Landon Donovan, take that interim off already, guys and gals. What are we waiting for? I don't know. It was not looking good early in the season, but San Diego Wave have really just turned a corner here. Let it be Landon Donovan. Let it be fitness. Whatever you want to chalk it up. San Diego Wave doing much better, beating Portland 2-0 after already having faced a Portland side in a different tournament and being successful as well. So what are your takes on what's happening down at Snapdragon Stadium?
Yeah, I think genuinely this is one of the better versions of San Diego Wave that we've seen all year, especially on the offensive end. It's just an entertaining style of soccer. They're going to be playing high. They're going to wear out teams in a way that we're really not used to. And now that they're actually like finishing those chances, it's starting to look like things are really turning around. But they still do need results from other teams if they do want to make the playoffs. But they're closer than ever right now.
And the style of play that we're seeing is certainly different. Like, that's something that if you're watching it in person, if you're watching it at home with commentary, the commentary team will highlight that this is not the San Diego Wave that everybody was seeing early on in the season. And let me just preface this really quickly with another former San Diego Punto Football topic, point of conversation. The pitch for this match. Again, we've spoken to the groundskeeping crew and had them on an interview, and looking forward to more of that. It was not ideal. Just surface playing. Did the ball roll? Yes. Are we ever going to see something as bad as a little pool at Snapdragon? Probably not. Hopefully not. Aesthetically, it is what it is, but this is a different way from what we've seen. Different pitch, different everything. Like, I think I think the pitch actually is very representative of San Diego Wave season. It's just a
Rough.
battle tested, rough. Just now you really see just
Yeah,
But
there are parts
you
of it that
start
look
seeing, yeah, you start
really
seeing
green, really nice.
Mhm.
that was actually very nice of me to say.
Yeah.
But in any case, what do you think this is? Like, do you? I want you to put your name on the save, and anybody can kind of put in their 2 cents as well. But is this the Landon Donovan effect? What has the San Diego Wave playing this way? Do you think?
It honestly, to me, is the Landon Donovan effect of we're not going to play defensive Casey Stoney ball anymore. We're going to be playing high, pushing the ball forward and creating a lot of chances. Our fitness is going to be better than the other team. We're just going to expect that we're going to shoot the ball a million times and then eventually we're going to score. Like they're going to have counterattacking opportunities, but they have faith in players like Naomi Girma that nothing's gonna be worried about that defense. They're just gonna maybe drop a goal or two, but then at the same time just create dozens of chances on the other side.
Chiba, you've seen a lot of soccer. You've seen teams who have been in a rut. Like there's always something like a certain tone, like music, right? There's a certain different notes that you can hit in a certain season. At some point, you see most of the notes in the same arrangement, and you're like, all right, that's music now. But you've seen a lot of different teams. This team, it was dead in the water for a while, but
Yeah.
you see a different spark. The players are being professionals, and not just being professionals. They are trying to be the better team, better like coming out of this cocoon of I don't know what it was, but what do you see from San Diego Wave, especially from what you saw here against Portland?
I think just overall, it's way to mute me there, Tony. I think overall the San Diego Wave, like you said, it's playing different. It's a different style of ball. Like Landon Donovan really is high pressing, like Abe said, and I mean you still get some mistakes here, like by Emily Van Ekman, and you're gonna get those mistakes where it can cost you in some games, right? But I think overall what we're seeing is a team that really does believe in themselves. I think in the past Landon has expressed, hey, you know what, like they go down and they put their heads down. Oh, here we go again. Like we're not catching a break. And I think this time you do see the team kind of being able to like rally up and play better. This time, just I mean, winning at home. Wait, when was the last time they won a NWSL game at home? I think it was the one against Utah, right?
Yeah, May 8th. And Johnny was telling me this is the last time they haven't won an NWSL game since like any Utah game. Like they've just only beaten Utah pretty much this year. But it's just crazy to see. And something else I think that's important to note is Casey Stoney is a defensive coach. She was a defender. She was a center back. And
Yeah.
Landon Donovan is one of the most decorated goal scorers and just American soccer players of all time. And I think to a certain extent, on the level of forwards and just attackers, that demands like an ear and a certain level of respect that these players have kind of shown. Just like, hey, they've even said in the press conferences too, they have conversations with Landon that they know that they're going to be able to do these types of things, and they've been doing it thus far.
Let me take people behind the curtain a little bit. What you're talking there, Abe, right? And this is fast forwarding to actually a couple of hours ago when we were in a press conference with Landon Donovan and Maya Jones for CONCACAF. They actually do it together instead of player, then coach. It's player and coach at the same time. We were privy to a conversation that was anecdotal between Landon and Maya Jones, and Maya Jones playing back in Canada, Landon being half Canadian. And we'll get some audio on that here as well. But just that relationship where there's that reverence for Landon, and you're gonna, when he talks, you listen, right? Like Maya was talking about a time that she saw a World Cup game in the Landon encounter with like, wow, I was inspired by a play that I saw there, and a player that was really excellent. And just having that interaction, you really got a glimpse into just that relationship that's happening in the locker room, where you can clearly see the attacking side of the ball is being affected in the positive way. What I will say as well is kudos to the assistants of San Diego Wave who have been there, who have, been there this entire season. They cannot be overlooked in this entire overhaul of a season. Definitely. If it was them, if it was Landon, I don't know what dictated something that we've seen in San Diego Loyal is not the best execution of substitutions, the game changers. And we've seen this a couple times where Landon's able to say, hey, I need a package of 3 new players to just put some energy into the system. And we've worked on this team. We've gotten slower. It's methodical. We haven't gotten anything. Let's inject some energy here, and they are rewarded. And I think this is another case of that. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to talk about, because if you remember why they lost that playoff game at the end of the season last year, it was because honestly they didn't put in subs. Like, they trusted the team to just eventually do something, but they weren't able to. And this has kind of been forced upon them because of injury, that they've been having to take care of take care of minutes on the team. But when you can put in these game changers and bring them on, and especially players like Melvin Barcenas, Maya Jones, and Jaden Shaw, it's gonna make your offense like 10 times better.
Yeah, and we've talked about those certain individuals coming off the bench that have made a bigger impact than when they started. Mentally, Barcenas being one of them, right? She comes off the bench and just lights things up. She gets players when they're on heavy legs already. They already have like 70 plus minutes under the belt, and they're tired. And Barcenas just comes in and, hey, we talked about it. She's a firecracker, Tony, and she just goes and is able to get past players pretty quickly. And I mean, in this play for the first goal for San Diego Way, I mean, like the weapons that you can have, right? You have Maria Sanchez, who's gonna deliver great set pieces, and then you have a player that gets there first, and then Maya Jones is able to finish. Kristen McNabb and Kennedy Wesley are absolute weapons in the area threat and just in the balon parado, like in set piece plays. Kennedy Wesley had a chance earlier in the first half that was pretty close of a free kick as well, and then here McNabb just wins it. So I think overall Wave is also improving in their set pieces.
And look, for everything that was not happening for Maria Sanchez for whatever reason when she first joined San Diego Wave, where there wasn't as advertised from the highest paid player in the NWSL, this exciting Mexican international who's going to come in and complement Alex Morgan, and we just never saw any of that. She did have a lot of involvement to this day. She has the most. She's been involved in the most goals this season, and that was before her hat trick performance. So it's something where clearly something's been unlocked. Cascarino helps a lot. Having Perla on that side to be able to play as that right wing and attacking threat, but still be quick enough to come back. And here we see, just the sidelines just kind of really being exploited. And we've seen a different side of San Diego Wave where they can come to you through the middle, but you better have somebody covering both sides at an elite level, because Maria Sanchez and Cascarino are just doing what they want. This happens here. You just create chaos from one side. You overload things. Mel has the ability, and she says, "You know what? I think I can have a shot. I can have an opportunity here. A little step over, opening up the player right there in between two. You take that shot. That's a very good decision from a player that, if you were to tell me that's a 16-year-old person who's coming in and playing at a professional level, like, just the confidence to do that at this level, at this stage, and really when you're given the opportunity, is huge. So, I mean,
I agree.
She deserves
it. I mean, just the way to find the space, and we've seen her do this before, right? This just is the first time that the ball actually lands in the back of the net. It got deflected, but the ball was still going on target. I still think if that ball hadn't gotten deflected, it might have still gone in.
Yeah.
I think it had the power to go through, but I mean, it gets a lucky bounce and it goes in. It's still worth the goal, right? Like, this is her first goal as a 16-year-old, her first goal in the NWSL, her first goal with San Diego Wave. Like, it's a big moment for Mel B and San Diego Wave.
Yeah, completely. And hearing her speak after the match, I think it's really interesting to see just a 16-year-old kind of building into their own person on the field, and like how they interact with teammates and stuff, because you don't realize it when you're watching the game, but like her and Maya Jones seem like they're pretty close, the way that they're interacting, and kind of being able to see that compliment of forwards just there together, talking with each other, laughing and joking, and then saying like, yeah, like I think Maya was kind of joking like, yeah, she doesn't really pass a lot. She just goes for shots, and
Mhm.
that's kind of what you need from a forward like that. Like sometimes you just gotta rifle those shots in, and it's gonna work out, and that's exactly what happened.
I mean, and at the end of the day, like you have to now consider too, like this is great and all, but you're about to lose Mel B to the under-17 World Cup. So
Yeah.
it's a great send-off. It's a great last look here at home.
I think that's part. I mean, she has consistently been starting under Landon Donovan.
Mhm.
And I think this is kind of the start of him not starting here as well, just so the team gets used to also not having him in the starting lineup. So I mean, I think that's part of it as well. But yeah, you're gonna lose a very big weapon for San Diego Wave. I mean, very soon. Granting, the good side is Jaden Shaw's almost match fit. Like, I mean, to be able to play longer. She's starting tomorrow.
That is breaking news for San Diego Puerto Football, Abe. Chiva, you were there. That is
Yeah.
correct. That
Yeah,
Jaden Shaw.
got the news.
Landon confirmed it in the press conference early today. Jaden Shaw will be starting tomorrow for San Diego Wave.
There you go. But you,
And
you do
Hillary
lose,
Beale.
and Hillary
And
Beale.
Hillary Beale.
You think Kaylin's mad that she's not playing in Canada?
No, I don't
Maybe
think so.
she's happy that she's chilling in Canada. I don't know. Ever thought about that, Abe?
Yeah, I guess.
But again, let's start this over. Do either of you believe? Do either of you believe right now that San Diego Wave has a realistic opportunity to say they are turning this around, not just in one tournament, CONCACAF coming up tomorrow, but in the NWSL? Dependent on other results, let's just say those happen. San Diego Wave has to get it done. Do you believe that there's a chance that we could be seeing San Diego Wave in the NWSL playoffs?
I don't think so. I think it's hard. I think they have to win at least 3 of the last 4, and I don't think they're able to do that. Abe wants to say yes, based on how they played against Portland. But I mean,
based on how well he's writing on these articles, Abe, just plugging in against San Diego
I'm
football,
still gonna go with no. We
great
don't
writer.
see San Diego Wave in the playoffs.
Great stuff.
It'd be great. It'd be great if they do. But at this moment, I don't think they make playoffs. I think you make the Conca Champions or the Champions Cup a priority to qualify to the semifinals.
Okay.
So looking at their last 4 matches, it's going to be North Carolina, Houston, Kansas City Current, and then Racing Louisville. Kansas City and Racing at that point might have already clinched a playoff spot.
Mhm.
So if you expect 2 wins from those and you just need 1 more win, it's very possible. But it's so hard to imagine that this team that was on a 12-match winless streak is going to be able to turn it around and make the playoffs. And even if you do make the playoffs, like you're going to be playing Orlando in the first round as an 8 seed.
Yeah,
Orlando hasn't lost a game. That'd be crazy.
I mean,
You know what?
first
If that
place,
does happen,
yikes.
though, it's happened before in like the Mexican League where the team that barely made the playoffs in the first round of playoffs takes off the super leader. And in Liga MX, they had la maldición del super líder.
Yeah, it's a
you're
curse.
always out,
You never
so-
want to be first place the whole tournament, because guess what? Actually, I know a team that's actually gone through that.
Yeah.
You know, having the best season.
Yeah,
Having the best season, winning the
Shield.
supporters Shield.
Supporter Shield.
Um,
Yeah, no, San Diego Wave happened to them last season. So I mean,
yes, as long
Happened
as
to
they
San
keep the
Diego Royal
momentum.
every year.
Yeah, every 2 years. That 2.5 years. Yes, as long as they keep momentum and intensity going and healthy players. Very, very good point. Courage is unbeaten.
this is a San Diego optimism, fans, right
Mhm.
here, and thinking that yes, anything can happen. You never know. That's a very San Diego sports fan mentality to have. Like, no,
I don't like
season's
the way
done.
you're talking to me right
The
now.
season's done.
I don't like
for
your.
Wave.
I don't like the way you're speaking.
You're
right
not
now.
making playoffs. Yes,
I don't like
you're
the
gonna
way
try
you're
to win
talking.
your
I mean,
games and
what-
you're gonna try, but to expect them to make playoffs is just ridiculous.
I don't like the way you just spoke about San Diego sports fans. Let me
Tell
just
me
say
I'm
that.
wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not as accurate as you could be.
No.
And I think I have some people here that would agree as well. Yeah, see, mira Chiva. I mean, you really have to just nervous laughs in nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Like
No, it's absolutely true. Like, it's a San Diego sports fan mindset to have, like, oh, you know what? Maybe we can make playoffs, and then maybe we can, with the curse, we can beat Orlando and we can go to San. Like, no, it's not going to happen.
do you think that Portland and Bay are good enough to like win at least 2 or 3 of their next games too? Because they're close enough. Like, I think Portland's more likely. I know 619 Soccer has been talking about Bay FC. I think Portland's more likely to fall out of it than Bay FC at this point. Like, Bay FC has
They have
honestly, if they didn't have Abby
Kemper,
Dahlkemper, things would be very different over there. That could be a huge move for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also not like, I mean,
Wouldn't that
it's
be
also
something?
not a Bay FC. It's also Racing Louisville.
Wouldn't that be something? Abby
You gotta
Dahlkemper,
remember,
the
Racing
reason
Louisville
why.
is still over San Diego Wave.
That's true too. It's gonna be a Taylor Flint goal that knocks them out, right? It has to be.
It's going to be something, but yeah, no. So I mean, it's not just they're relying on Portland not to win. Bay, you also need Louisville to not perform. And
Such a.
I mean, from those teams,
sorry, I'm so sorry.
You're really not playing any of them.
In my head canon, it's Taylor Flint scoring just to do that, and then like Messi pulls out a shirt and it says Korniak, and it's just like drops it as she just like oof. People are not gonna like that. Sorry, Tanya.
What did
So
Casey
maybe-
Stoney say at the beginning of the season about her? Didn't she say like she didn't want to compete?
She didn't want to compete. That Casey Stoney said that Taylor Korniak, the artist formerly known as Taylor Korniak, did not want to compete. That is a quote from former head coach of San Diego Wave, Casey Stoney, on this very program.
It's gonna say compete on the shirt, not corny. I'll also just say compete.
Compete 2024.
It would be crazy if it really did come down to that Wave Louisville game, and Louisville is in 8th somehow, and Wave is in 9th, and they're 2 points that separate them. Like, and Korniak does, or Taylor Flint does score the winning goal or the tying goal at the end to just play spoiler like that. I mean, that's
like Louisville got
Yeah.
Current, Spirit, Portland, and then the Wave to end. Like, that's not an easy schedule to finish.
It's not.
the easiest game there is the Wave game for Racing Louisville.
I mean, the Wave have been playing. The Wave are a better team than Portland right now. We just saw it in 2 matches, didn't we?
Yes.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. It's a matter of momentum, and I think Wave are catching on that momentum. And it is always how you finish tournaments and not how you start them. I don't know. Like, it's very just because the players also have to stay healthy. You're gonna lose Mel B. You're 1 injury away from kind of going back to square one, and hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you gotta be realistic. Some of that stuff might end up happening. I mean, if all goes well and Wave makes playoffs, then it's very different. You're gonna face Portland. You're gonna you beat Portland, and what's next, right? And like, you still have to compete, and you have, and it's very.
It's ridiculous that we're even talking about San Diego Wave having a positive season at the end of the match, at the end of this whole entire season. I mean, I'm looking now
able
at
to turn it around.
a symbol, like legitimately Alex Morgan's final name card when she retired, like in the press conference. Like, they've gone through, like, it's just this thing is very charged just with a symbolism of what it means for San Diego Wave, and to be able to go through that. We do have Tanya for the Call of Sirens here coming up, but really quickly, I just want to start the conversation because there is a little bit more Wave, because they are going to go into Vancouver and play tomorrow at 6:30 in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We were able to go on the press conference a couple hours ago. Let's hear a couple of things here, and then I'm curious to see what Tanya's takes are about this team that, I'll tell you, one of the most passionate San Diego Wave fans, period. Period. I don't know how the co-host will take that, but yes, there is another program that is available for San Diego Wave and their audience. But with that, let's go ahead and listen to some Landon Donovan and Maya Jones audio.
And also with Landon, just take us through the training for this weekend. Is it different in terms of a tournament side training instead of going after a league match, and what the strategy is for that? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty surreal to be back in my hometown. Well, obviously, I'm from Calgary, but I lived a few years here and I played for the Whitecaps. So it's pretty surreal to be coming back and playing them, and got a few family members and friends. So it's a great environment, great opportunity, and yeah, I'm just really excited for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, the big thing for us this week is trying to manage all the minutes
You didn't
and
say
the
hate
players
phones.
and know where they're at physically so that we can give ourselves a chance to win 3 games. So we started well with the Portland game. A lot of players who didn't play a lot of minutes will also get an opportunity to get minutes in this game. And then we have another one on Saturday that's important for us. So the first priority is tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, we put ourselves in a really good spot to get out of this group and give ourselves a chance to go to the Club World Cup. So excited about it. Maya, Kaylin, excited for them. I'm half Canadian, so it's nice to be back in our homeland, and should be fun tomorrow night.
Alejandro, will go to you next.
Yeah, thank you, Landon, Maya. Thank you for the time. Landon, when you first came on board with this job, you told us that the team they weren't where you wanted them to be at, physically, to be match fit, to play the style that you wanted. Do you see the team now closer to the level that you want them to be playing at, especially with the couple results that have gone your way recently?
Yes. And not only that, in the first game back to Panama, I think the 3 players we had that we could sub into the game, I think, were Maya, Elise, and Amira. And those were literally our 3 subs. And for a few games after that, it was very similar, where we just didn't have a lot of healthy bodies. So the other day was a perfect example against Portland. 0-0 in the 60th minute, and then we get to bring Maya in, get to bring Melon, get to bring Jaden in. And have a chance to like really make a difference in the game. Torpy came into, and then Kristen Westfall at the end to help us win the game. So that was the reason we won that game, is she scored the goal, Mel scores the goal, and we had good players off the bench, and we have the same tomorrow. So it makes my job a lot easier when you have players playing at a really high level. Like Maya's, her game in Chicago was phenomenal, and then she got the goal she deserved the other night. And then you have just healthy bodies and people coming back, which makes it really a lot easier to change the game in the way you want, versus just changing the game because people are tired and can't play any more minutes. So that's been a big benefit and makes my job a lot easier.
And I wanted to ask, how close is Jaden Shaw to being fully match fit? Obviously, it's been a journey since her injury, but how close is she to be able to play full 90?
She's getting closer. She's going to start tomorrow, and that'll be the first time since I've been here that she has a chance to get a big bulk of minutes. She looks great in training. She's playing well when she's coming to the games, and now she gets a chance to really get her legs under her. So I'm excited to watch her tomorrow. She's just a very talented player that's
I think the stuff cut out. To be playing professional game where you up in
Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks
Sorry.
for the time. We heard a little bit of what you guys were talking about earlier, watching a World Cup in Vancouver. I was wondering if you could just speak a little bit more to that and what it means now for you to be playing professional game where you once were watching games as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty surreal. You always dream about that when you're a kid, to be playing in a stadium that you once were watching on the sidelines. So I think just being back here in a city that means a lot to me is just a big deal to be playing in BC Place. And I know my family is really proud of me, but I'm also really proud of myself. So it'd be even better if we could get the win tomorrow. But yeah.
Okay. And more, we'll go to
You can check out their content at Morvilla AS Diario and everything San Diego. But that's some of the sound. Actually, a couple. It's fresh off, as hot as it gets off the
hours
press.
ago.
This was 2 hours ago at 6 p.m. Good question, Abe. I really like that. Some good stuff. I like these dual setup interviews or press conferences.
Coach and player.
It's a
Yeah,
little awkward at times, I feel like, because they're not gonna say anything bad about their coach or
in front of
anything.
them. Yeah,
Like it's just sometimes it's like, oh, there's a little bit of tension there, you know. Like
yeah.
especially when they do it for the national teams. I think I've seen that a lot. Or
Mhm.
there was an America game this year
Yeah,
for the
the
Leagues
America
Cup.
one.
It was a little
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, the player was acting as a translator too, but nobody asked the question that needed translating, so she just ended up just sitting there. All right, so Abe, you want to stick on for the Call of Sirens, or you? It's up to you.
Sure.
Sure, sounds good. All right, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and bring back a segment that we love here in this show. We talk with somebody from the Sirens, the supporter group, the official supporter group of San Diego Wave. You can find them in the Cove and Snapdragon Stadium. With that, let's go ahead and go into the Call of the Sirens. And we give a season's greetings over to Tanya as we do that. Let's just do that. Tanya, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, I'm doing pretty good. I like the new intro that you guys have going on. It looks pretty cool.
You know, something that happened was Abraham, and I removed him. I'm going to bring him back. This guy hated it. He was like, I like
That's
the
true.
old one better. I like the old one better.
It's different, spice things up every now and then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let's talk about some spiciness happening with San Diego Wave, because I think last time we talked, it was a pretty dark time in San Diego Wave season. Not the highest of points for San Diego Wave, and then specifically being part of the supporters group. I know that has a lot to weigh on you and just the supporter life in general. But when you hear Landon and Maya just speak so excited and be looking forward to a match that's happening tomorrow because there's still life in this year in the season, what does that make you feel as a fan?
I mean, it makes me feel excited for what they think that is possible for the rest of the season. Um, the last time I was here, I was in like full-fledged tears. It was just horrible at that point. And there definitely didn't seem like there was any kind of light, any kind of life in the team. And I mean, this last few games, it just seems like they've had this renewed sense of energy and life. And it seems like they're enjoying, like they're playing again as a team. And it's been nice to see it because I mean those are some dark times.
Yeah, I'm not mistaken. I think the last time joined was when Casey Stoney was out, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was pretty much as dark as it got in
And now,
this
I mean,
timeline.
as a supporter, you've gone through one interim manager with Paul Bucco, and now you're with Landon Donovan. So
Who?
how are you feeling now with just the way the team is playing?
The guy
the
just got a
way-
free wardrobe from San Diego Wave? Okay.
How are you feeling now, Tanya? Just, I mean, with how things are going and how it's looking for towards the end of the season.
I mean, I feel like it looks better. It just seems like they're gelling better. So it definitely brings a lot more excitement, even for us in the stands. I mean, them scoring goals is like gives us this new sense of energy. Like in the Cove, it's a different type of feeling than when you're constantly watching your team get scored on and they're not producing any goals. Um, so but yeah, I mean, we've gone through 3 coaches. I mean, 2 and then Donovan now, but it just kind of felt like there was no plan, at least for me. Like it felt like there was no plan after Casey. Um, and so just to have Landon now kind of help things settle a little bit and kind of be a constant presence, and because Paul Buckle was only here for like a few weeks and he was out, you know.
A literal
Um,
substitute teacher. Literal.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it feels better now, definitely.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but let me ask you this: as of now, the way things
Mhm.
are going, without knowing how the season ends, would you be okay if Wave made Landon Donovan as the official new head coach?
People might be listening, Tanya. I just don't want to put any pressure, but you know.
Um,
This is coming from you, like you're one of the most diehard San Diego Wave fans we know. Like, would
yeah.
you? I mean, and that's okay. I mean, it's very fair if you say no.
I mean, for me personally, like this is just a personal thought. I think that there are coaches that are better suited for this team. I like what he's brought to the team now and the energy that he's brought to them, but I think that there are other coaches out there that could probably be better suited for the role. Um, I mean, I think Landon is still learning the women's game, you know. He said that himself. And I think, yeah, I think there's someone that we can get that will help this team a lot more.
But let me tell you somebody who is helping the team right now, and it's one of your favorites.
Oh
And
yeah,
which, by the way, I do want to make sure I mention this because you can check out the Siren Song podcast that Tanya hosts. I'm just gonna say Tanya, and it's your show. Anybody who would like to compete can come on the show and say otherwise, which is fine. Just stoke that fire. But there's talks about a potential Maria Sanchez tattoo. I'll just put it that way.
Oh my god.
For
Ooh,
you,
okay,
Tanya,
Tanya.
and Maria Sanchez is giving you every single reason to do so.
Listen,
What does she have to do?
w-
Okay,
we're not getting a Maria Sanchez back piece.
Okay,
That's not gonna
okay,
happen.
that's
That's
fine.
that's fair.
Little hand tattoo, little
because
calf.
Sarah has been like obsessed with like a Maria Sanchez back piece and uh, a stamp, you know, and I'm like, nope, no full back tattoo, nope, Dave. Um, I've honestly I've thought about at some point I will be getting the crest. Um, and I mean, I wouldn't mind if, like I said on the podcast, if she were to design something and said, you know, take this, like I put like my full heart into it, I'd be like, okay, I'll do it.
I don't,
Oh, all right.
I don't see a world where I'm not gonna try to do that now. It'd be pretty cool for journalistic purposes, obviously. Like just hey, would you entertain this, Maria? I mean, we've seen Maria be involved in some pretty rad stuff as of recently. That photo shoot that she did with Mel B,
That was awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout outs at Young the Ryan,
Right,
stellar
guy.
stellar former podcast guest. But he
That-
worked hard on that. He did want me to say though, and not ask me to say, but I found out, which I will say now, regardless of whether he wants it or not. Maria Sanchez requested the lowrider. She wanted to take a picture with a photo shoot with a lowrider, and I just think that's dope.
Okay, that's
So
awesome.
cool. That's so cool. So they made it happen, and it was funny because my girlfriend was the one that was like, "Oh, wow, this is a great shoot." The first part with Mel B and stuff with the uniform, and you're like, I just hope they don't do the typical chola lowrider. They're letting them be who they want to be and who they generally are, and she really dug it. And then I'm like, oh, I know something's gonna happen. But then she saw, she's like, wow, this is very well executed. It's not that. It's completely different. So, just shout out to at Young the Ryan, but you also are a creative force when it comes to San Diego Wave and the Sirens. You were involved in the creation of a new image in the Cove
Yeah.
that was helped to be designed. Could you talk to us about that and take us through it?
I mean, pretty much I just Troy and I we're both like two creative people and we love talking with one another. And sometimes I just say, "Hey, I need a design for Kaylin. I need a design for whatever. And he's like, all right, I got you. And he just comes up with like the coolest things. And yeah, like last week, all throughout the week, I started painting and it took, it took a lot of time. I was even dreaming about this thing. Like, there's little things on there that I felt like I needed to fix, and I'd wake up the next morning with the idea, like, okay, I know how to do it. Um, but it was super fun. I feel like Kaylin is super important to the team. I mean, she's our captain now. Um, Constantly saves our butts during the games with these incredible saves. So we had to give her the octopus hands. And I think that was, the octopus tentacles have been like a constant theme during the season with our scarf and stuff like that. So just to add that in there, I think it was really cool. And it took a really long time to get it done, but we finally got to show it in the Cove on this past weekend, and Kaylin loved it. She came out and said, "Guys, don't make me cry."
Aw.
Um, yeah, she loved it, and then after the game, we held it up for her and asked her to sign it, and she didn't wanna sign it unless I signed it with her. So, she made me sign it, she signed it, and then I came back and I told Troy, "You designed it, so you have to sign it too."
These are the things that I love hearing when it comes to supporter groups and the love of the game, because this is what makes it so cool and so special. I mean, just the time and effort that it takes to do this, and it's not like you're getting paid for this. It's not like you're doing it for any reason. If anything, if you really think about it, you're paying money to do this by going and
Yeah,
watching sporting events. Like, that's what people forget. Like, it's not like supporter groups get free tickets. No, you're still invested with your wallet, with your time, with your heart, with your
mhm,
everything. And so to really have something that comes together like this is honestly something really cool right there. Knowing how genuine Kaylin is, and the type of person she is, it's really cool to see this kind of come together. And again, after such a difficult season, because let's not
yeah.
just brush that aside, right? Like, it's the reality of things. Um, but at the end of the day, like, look, this is what makes the game, and I'm glad you got that moment, and it's really cool. And I feel like this is the feeling that the whole Cove has right now. The Sirens are just united and
Yeah.
in going with the season. And do you have a lot of hope for this CONCACAF tournament? If you had to pick a race, would you be okay if, say, the result is a playoff appearance in the league, and or making a good performance in the CONCACAF Champions Cup? Would that satisfy you as a fan for San Diego Wave this season?
If they made the playoffs, but, like, didn't do so well in the tournament?
Yeah.
Um, at this point, why can't we have both?
Porque, por,
Porque no se puede.
¿Por
No
qué
se
no los
puede.
dos? No estoy saying, ¿por qué no
Why
los dos?
No se
why
puede.
not both?
No se
Listen, I heard you earlier, Chiva. Okay, Leon, I heard you.
Oh, I told you. Get him, get him.
I heard you. I think at this point, they're only, what, like, 3 points behind from making the playoffs? 5 6?
Talk to him.
points.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. But
Still
you know
get him.
what? Anything's possible. Anything's
Anything's
possible.
Anything absolutely is possible.
Anything is
My
absolutely
take,
possible.
my take with all this is just it's unlikely. Anything's possible, but I think it's just like unlikely, just the way soccer goes in general. And when it comes to like a playoff, like anything can happen. But I mean, in my unbiased opinion, like I think it's unlikely. I do think they can make a run for the CONCACAF Champions Cup the way they're playing.
I
I do.
think
I
so
think
too.
I do think they can pull that off, and I think they have the momentum. I mean, just trying to make the Women's FIFA World Cup, like that's a lot of like kind of energy that the team could just rally up and try to win that
Mhm.
tournament. And that makes it a successful season in my eyes.
Mhm.
I
Uh,
agree.
so I would say go all in on this. Obviously, you still have to compete in the NWSL and try to make a push for it. But I think you play your best possible lineups whenever you can for this CONCACAF Champions Cup.
I think so too. It's a really important tournament. It's the first year of it. To see just the Wave have like this crazy weird season, but then they do very well, or
Mhm.
they've done very well during the tournament. So I get what you're saying. I think it's very possible that they do exactly what you say, that they kind of, don't make the playoffs, but they keep succeeding in the tournament. Um, I don't think the rest of our schedule is too hard. I think they could beat Racing. I know it's a personal game when Corniak is playing us, or Flint, Taylor Flint. We saw how she celebrated that goal that didn't count against the team.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember that? That was
We remember that.
Yeah, we remember that, but we still love her in the Cove. She was always really good with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I
Talk about
I
awkward.
definitely like I think it's anything can happen, but I don't think it'll like actually happen, unfortunately. But I mean, if it does, like Tony says before, shut my mouth. Like,
Yeah.
do it.
Prove me wrong.
Cállenme. Gánenlo. Make playoffs, win the Champions Cup. Like, why not? Abe, anything you have for Tanya?
I think we also have to focus on goal differential. This is going to come down to goal differential, and the Waves need to start putting up like big score lines if they actually want to make this happen. So just keep an eye on that, everyone.
The
Big
evidence is there.
scorelines and clean sheets.
And I think this is a season. Landon is like, all right, this is what's here. Assistant coaching, what's been here. Naomi Gurma, Kaylin Sheridan, take care of business. We'll add some speed. We'll add some flair. There's a French variety back there. Some still solid tactics and defending moving forward. Midfield, figure out. Anyway, wings and attack, go. Just go. Like,
Yeah.
go. And Cascarino, get under the ball. Other side, Maria Sanchez, cross it to somebody. And if you don't make the cross, guess what? Cascarino will get it at the end and cross it back. And if nobody's in the middle still, it's fine because Mackenzie Doniak's Portecita is in the midfield. There's nobody to get that. Maria Sanchez gets it back. All right, cool. It's the 65th minute. But Mel B coming in, cool. But now you have Jaden Shaw there. And that's going to be a key factor
It's
here.
exciting to see that she's going to get started. Abe, you got me thinking about the goal difference now. There's only 5 teams that have a positive goal difference in the league out of 14.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. They
that is
shouldn't
insane.
honestly. They shouldn't have 8 teams in the playoffs. Like it's a bit much. Like more than half the league is making the playoffs. That's crazy. And just can you imagine the scenes in the NWSL and the reaction? Like Casey Stoney would probably have an aneurysm if an 8th place team beat the Supporters Shield that went undefeated. That would be crazy.
That would be peak NWSL drama, though.
That's true.
And honestly, that's why I like this league. It's so chaotic. Like it's so chaotic in the most fundamental ways. It's entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's still a really good product, and I'm enjoying it. Tanya, I know you've been enjoying this this season in a different way, but just this league as a whole. And I only know that again because I am a follower and a listener of the podcast that you can find on Spotify. The Siren Song, Sarah and Tanya, you can hit them up there. I shared it, but I didn't share it here. Qué tonto alegre yo. That's that right there.
There we go.
Boom. Siren Song. Check it out on Spotify. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
It's been cool seeing you guys enjoy that space. But Tanya, is there anything else for the Sirens and San Diego Wave coming up?
It's gonna be a busy time. We're about to start a TIFO painting.
Okay.
That signups for that are gonna be going out tomorrow morning, I believe, or sometime this week. It'll be going out sometime this week. But it's gonna be a special one. I've already seen the design for it, and it's absolutely amazing. So we're gonna be having that. There's a watch party happening tomorrow, and then we have a game after that, and then there's like another game, like 2 back-to-back games within like 3 days. It's just gonna be crazy. So just show up to paint. We'd love to have the helping hands. Show up to the games and just be loud, bring your energy, just help the team feed off of us and just propel them to more wins at home, especially.
especially at home, especially in spite of that, the optics of that field. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
uh,
that
well,
feels.
yeah, no, it's literally rough. Again, I was comparing it to the San Diego Wave season in general. Like, yeah, no, it's still a world class surface. It just looks a certain way, and it's gone through a lot. It's gone through a lot, and but again, Abe, I think rounded it out. Or there's still some green patches there that are growing, and
Yeah.
it's looking on a come up. But Tanya, thank you for joining us once again. I really appreciate you getting into it with us with San Diego Wave, their tactics, and the tournament itself. A little bit more soccer talk as well.
Of
So
course. I'm always happy to come on.
we'll be awaiting, and I'll see if I can ask Maria. And it's I'm gonna be like, Maria, Tanya. Yeah, of course you know. Tanya, yeah. So, quiero un tatuaje de la espalda, complete. It's you with a double necked acoustic guitar. I don't know.
And behind a low
That's
rider.
what she asked. Behind the low rider, just go creatively, go. And she's gonna be like, well, actually, I've been working on a couple of prototypes and designs, and we'll just take it from there, and we'll just send it your way, Tanya. But with that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you guys.
Any word on the Sirens joining Morgan joining the Sirens this season? Only 2 games left in the regular season. Maybe she's waiting for playoffs. Maybe she knows something we don't know. Maybe she knows.
She's also pregnant.
Maybe she has. Maybe she has
Gotta
a
be
script. Maybe Alex Morgan has the NWSL script. Speaking of scripts, the movies, Club Deportivo Football Club is coming up with episode 2. That's the new podcast on this platform, Santiago de Football, where Drew Steck and Señor Cesar H. Football dissect movies. We're going to be on the next episode, and our movie is going to be good. You haven't seen it. It's going to be interesting.
I'm excited.
I don't know. Are we allowed to?
I don't
I think we have
so.
to check with.
Yeah.
Why don't we have to check with the guys that we have under our umbrella? What is this? It's like me checking with Abe. Like, hey, Abe, like, what do you think about this, buddy? Okay, dude. Check it out, Club Deportivo Football
Movie Club.
Movie
Episode
Club
2 coming out soon. I'm comparing the seasons real quick, just because it's very wild. Because I mean, last season for the NWSL, Wave won the Shield. After 22 games, they were at 37 points. Right now, Orlando Pride is 22 games, 54 points. That's 20 more points. Washington Spirit, 47. Gotham in 3rd place, 44. KC Current, 43. North Carolina, who's sitting in 5th, are at 35. That's 2 points under what Wave finished top of the table last season. Like, clearly the league is getting better. Clearly other teams are just stacking on talent. And some teams are falling behind. I mean, this is the lowest on paper right now. This is by far the worst season Wave have ever played. And there's no denying that. Yeah. There's no denying that. 19 goals. Their first season after 22 games, they scored 32 goals. Year 2, they scored 31 goals. And now they're at 19 after 22 games. Like, that's a big difference.
That's crazy. Tomorrow is going to be their first Tuesday game ever.
That's pretty cool. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I like that. I like that from you.
I will say this, though. It is also very interesting how drastic teams can go from having a very successful season to a very rough season. Orlando Pride didn't make the playoffs last season, and now they're going to win the Shield.
Yeah.
There were 7 plays last season. So, I mean, it's very interesting how quick you can make a change. in this league. And I mean, just overall, just a few players that you bring into the team can also just make a big difference. But yeah, that's kind of what we have for San Diego Wave and the NWSL. And we're going to go ahead and start transitioning over to the next segment of San Diego FC.
Yeah, with that, we'll say goodbye to Abe for this segment of San Diego Wave. Abe, we'll have you back for Goals, Gaps, and Greats here in a bit. Oh, they call the sirens thing super dope. No, yeah, we like it. It's really getting into the pulse of what soccer in San Diego is, and I mean, we did it with San Diego's San Diego Loyal. We did it with we tried to do it with 1904. We were there for the first match, and then boom, pandemic. It was really cool. Sorry, Luis, we just took Abe away from you.
Sorry,
Abe,
Luis.
see her. Say hi to Abe. Say hi to Luis real quick. Here, there he
Hi,
is.
Luis.
Abe, there's.
Hey, Luis is your #1 super fan.
It's pretty cool. Here, this is what Luis. That's what he wishes this podcast would be. All right, bye.
Now he gets us. Sorry, Luis.
100%. All right. So with that, we're going to bring in our next segment, which is San Diego FC related. We're going to have a guest on from the supporters union, part of the member group. I started an Instagram fan page for Abe. I don't believe you.
I hope you do. I don't
believe you. I don't believe you. It's you can bring that energy all you want, but I need to see the goods because I will be the first one to contribute just memes to that. Yeah, he does have the best insight. That's why he's editor-in-chief of San Diego Football. That's the name of the website. All right, so with that, we're going to talk some San Diego FC because that's definitely what we need to go. Well, just to give you some insight behind the scenes, there's these cool little buttons that we some, and it mutes us. And sometimes we could just talk to each other.
Yeah.
We don't use it very often, but you just asked me, what is there to talk about?
The referee, of course, but that, I mean,
did you just see the epic intro, bro? Do I need to play that again for you? Did you not see what's happening for San Diego? Look, we have a ticker for it.
Yeah.
Like we're preparing for what's to come in San Diego FC discussions and talk.
Yeah, you're right. I know there's something else for SDFC.
So
anyways,
so bring it up.
The referee
Yeah.
officially announced as an FC Northland player on loan from SDFC. Tony, you had some insight on this as to why it kind of took a while for this to develop.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who can put two and two together can really see that. First of all, they goofed a couple days ago weeks ago because he was officially unveiled via social media post. And so the questions were kind of asked like, okay, Duran Ferry, it was announced that his loan was rescinded from Orange County. And then he just appeared on the social media post in Denmark. Makes sense. SDFC, Drive to Dream, FC Northland, that's the sister club, the sibling club. But there was just nothing out there. It's because he wasn't 18. In Europe, there are laws and labor laws that go into play. And again, this happens across every league with Wonderkins and just in general, right? Like that's why sometimes you can, even in the United States, there are rules. You see a 14-year-old debut for MLS team, and it's nighttime. Like there's they can't work past 9 p.m. Yeah. So like there's depending on where his actual city is, but it was officially announced. Yes,
I personally like this move, right? I mean, he wasn't getting the minutes at Orange County. Okay, you're not going to get the minutes at FC Northland, but you're going to be training at a European level. You're going to be training with players that are physically stronger than players that play in the USL. So I personally think this is a smart move. Okay, you're not going to get the starting minutes that you wanted at the USL. Okay, go train in Europe with like one of the best teams in Denmark. Like, why not
Yeah.
go out there, compete, and if you get a starting spot eventually, good for you. If not, you're getting top level training quality.
Do you then qualify like, hey, even if you're playing on the second team, if you're playing on their under 19 or whatever under 20 squad there,
But
like
training
that's
with the first team still, like
that's
yeah.
invaluable experience. Is
Yeah.
this going to be enough to push Duran Free to starting in 2025 February?
No.
More than likely not. Stranger things have happened. But nonetheless,
I don't think Duran becomes a starting goalkeeper for San Diego FC until like maybe how old is he? 18 now. I want to say maybe 2028,
It's a long time.
2029. When he's 21,
It's a long
22
time.
maybe. And that's still very early for a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's still very young. So I would say maybe 2029, 2020, 2030 maybe. Like he's a solid starter by then if he still develops, if he doesn't go to Europe. Maybe he's just a superstar goalkeeper and then just goes to Europe somewhere. But I can see that being the case. Other than that, I mean, for SDFC, Tony, we went up to, are we talking about that already? Going up to LA?
What's up, sir?
Are we going up to LA? Are we talking about going up to LA? Is that part of SDFC in a way?
In a way, it is part of the way. There is an event, a community connect at Singing Hills for coaches, and again, this is a part of the overall strategy from SDFC to ingrain themselves into the larger soccerverse of San Diego and what's been here. Right, San Diego's always been a development city, a city that is good at honing products in the form of players and shipping them out. There's where it wasn't anywhere for them to play here locally. But then it's the development of talent locally, keeping them here, but also developing the coaching side of things, because the coaches are going to need to know how to coach youngsters to prepare them to be the 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are going to be coming in for this. So at the end of the day, this is going to be a huge project involving the community itself. It's why it's very holistic. It's very good. There is the Community Connect performance in the Performance Center up in Singing Hills. And again, that's going to be the site. It's coming together. We're going to be going out soon to check that location out. With that, I also want to go ahead and put on the books here in the future, because many moons ago, one Ricardo Campos, who is vice president of operations now for San Diego FC, former president of San Diego Loyal, him and Andrew Vasiliadis and I had a deal where if I wore a certain shirt size, I would get a one-day contract for San Diego Loyal and therefore be considered a former professional player, and just retire that day and just say, hey, I'm a professional player. Well, that didn't happen. That is not going to happen for SDFC at all. That's not how this works. But he did say that if I did reach a certain goal in which I had in mind and been working for, he would come into the garage. So we're currently working to get Ricardo Campos inside of the garage for the first time. He's made
SDFC. Let us have Ricardo Campos because I want to bet.
Time out. Have you not seen the message I sent him? Have you not seen that
yes,
exchange?
yes,
okay,
yes,
well,
yes.
okay, well, it's on there. It's on there for that. So be on the lookout for that coming up.
Tony, we also have a guest coming up, right?
We do have a guest coming up because, again, with San Diego FC, much like the Call of the Sirens, there are important things happening surrounding this club and this team, because it's important to highlight what this is about. We saw everybody coming together at Chucky Mania. We saw the scenes. We saw
what it can be.
And we know what can happen here. I don't think anybody's confused as to whether or not this was a possibility. But let me just say that the SDISU, the San Diego Independent Supporters Union, which is the one coalition of 7 officially recognized supporter groups for SDFC, are coming together, and they're having an event coming in because things are coming together, as we say.
Yeah.
Pero me mandaron a un desmadroso. Ah. Oh, sorpresa.
I thought you told me we were getting a
Sorpresa.
guest that's like super qualified to talk about shit and all this. You tell me we're getting some wild ass food?
I don't know. I mean, wait, tranquilo. You say fool around these
no,
parts.
yeah,
It's
that's true.
one
That's true. Es
specific
otra
fool.
persona. Sorry,
I don't
sorry.
think that one specific fool is
Este es
allowed
otro,
to
este es otro
ever
locochón.
speak
Este es otro locochón.
on these matters. But with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome our guest here from the representing the Independent Supporters Union tonight. We're going to welcome our great, powerful El Bodyguard, the muscle. If you see him in the section, you know you either are about to have a great time or a bad time. Señor Remy.
Please.
What's up, fool?
It's show.
What are you guys doing?
No sé, güey.
Doing a
No sé,
podcast.
güey.
Right?
Looks like a whole lot of nothing. No, I'm just joking.
All right. So Remy,
What's up, man? Yes,
welcome in. First time here. First time, long time. Tell me about it, Remy. What has it been like now working with everybody, moving together with a bunch of different groups for this supporters union coming up for SDFC? You're excited. I see you at all the events that I get to cover. Like, ¿estás listo? Are you ready to represent San Diego again?
Of course, always. Since day one. Since the loyal days, brother. But basically how it's looking, it's I mean, we have our little disagreement sometimes, but I mean everything looks like it's coming together now. We're a short time away from game day one, so everybody's counting down, excited about game day one. And more than anything, we're excited about what's coming up this Friday, which is a little party, you could say. I mean, we're kind of recruiting people and trying to see if anyone is available on Friday to come out and get to know us and see if this is a good fit for them. As you know, we're part of the supporters union that's going to fill out the supporters section at Snapdragon come day one. And yeah, we're just looking for bodies to fill it up and see if we can meet some cool people coming out on Friday.
All right, so we have up here on the screen, if you're on the listing side of things, October 4th, 2024, it's going to be at 1835 Creative Studios in Imperial Avenue, United into One, Unidos en Uno. It's going to be from 6 to 10 p.m. So this is billed from the independent supporters community. You see there, the 18th Battalion, Barra 18, the Chavos, Frontera Ultras, the Dago Boys, the Locals, the Riptides, and US G18. All great people who are coming together. And as it says here, it is go time. The Independent Supporters Union on Friday will be having a celebration of unity. There will be drums, there will be chants, there will be food and beverages. Join as they prepare for San Diego FC's inaugural season. Everybody is welcome. You can get some tickets here, and the link is going to be provided on the official Instagram for the Independent Supporters Union, which is SDISUORG. That's SDISUORG is the name of the game for this. So, Remy, what's it been like working with other people for this? Is it weird? I mean, you guys work with the locals, everything you're mentioning. But now you work with some great people over at the Riptides. You got some, some real actual heroes like you and I and Chiba. But no creo que valemos madre, pero we're not actually out there like the UN G18. Like it's about parte la madre. That's firefighters. These are veterans. Like, but they are here united for the one common cause. What has it been like working with these groups, man?
It's been good. It's been good so far. Getting to know a lot more people. Obviously, this is a bigger scale than what we had with the loyal. There's a lot of thinking minds that are very well capable of creating something unique to San Diego as far as the supporter section comes. And yeah, I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever at the moment. Just looking forward to creating this and getting more people out, more people that are interested in becoming a supporter. And I think once they see that at our events coming up, then I think more people will be excited to join, for sure.
Remy, la neta,
Yeah.
¿se va a armar chingón este pedo o no?
Bro, yes. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. It's gonna
Ideally,
be. What's that?
¿qué le echas? How many members do you feel like overall you guys need to have the section popping for game day 1?
I mean, it's 3,000 plus seats, so we gotta fill all those seats up, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, no.
3,000 plus seats.
And that's the thing. It's not even 3,000 plus seats. It's 3,000 plus seats that gotta be rocking. Like
Yeah.
you saw it. You saw it at Torero, and then these guys were a huge part of it right here. Los compas, you know, you see vicepresidente, the señores de la Unión, Miguel Barajas. I mean, doing everything that he can. O sea, una bola de a veces degenerados, but in the best ways. The football, Liga Barra 18 representing, and everybody's kind of coming together. The 18th Battalion. You had Mikey Varas. Did you have any interactions with Mikey at the last time? What was that like?
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. I really appreciate that he came down and talked to everyone. He was playing the drums. He was just having conversations with all the supporters, and we all really appreciated that. That shows what kind of a man he is, and hopefully, as a coach, he can, get us those W's and bring that championship home.
And is this again? This is the SDISU. You guys are
Yes, sir.
independent supporter union. And ¿se siente eso? Do you feel that? And a ver, let's go. The preguntas chingonas. Like, do you feel that independence right now? How has that been going? Is that is it still growing pains? Is there still different things that the both team and supporter groups need to come together still? Like that the politics side, the not fun side of things sometimes. How's that going along?
I mean, it's a challenge sometimes,
Mhm.
like anything great. I think this is a new experience for both of us, both the office and the supporters union. This is something that's never been done here, at
Mhm.
least at this magnitude. And it's a learning process for sure. But as days go by and we get to know each other better and we get to speak more often, have more meetings, things get a little bit more easier for sure.
I mean, it's really exciting what's happening. And again, at the end of the day, ustedes son los que van a representar against the 3252. You guys are going to be those representing the city and defending the city off the field. Like that's how I see it. You guys are the defenders of San Diego against everybody who's going to try to come in and put San Diego in its place. And this place, let me tell you right now, has a history. You were talking shit earlier about San Diego and the fan base. You were
I
este
was.
güey was oh,
Who was? Chiva?
you say,
Me.
oh, San Diego
Pinche.
se ilusiona, que no sé qué, que nunca pasan las cosas, y que blah, blah, blah. Like, it's people like him. You guys
¿Qué
gotta
gente
defend this.
realista?
Haters.
Cállate, cállate, es ser chivo hermano, güey. Es un pinche dolor, güey. Tú sabes qué pedo, güey. Tú le das a las Chivas y al equipo de San Diego, güey. No mames.
Yeah, bro, but we're gonna try to make this thing differently,
I
Kind of
like that. I like that.
silence those haters down
Yeah.
and represent the city correct.
No, he's
sure.
saying shit out of context because what I was saying was about San Diego Wave and their chances of making playoffs. I was not saying anything about all this right now. So yeah, no.
Okay.
Tony just stirring the pot a little bit. No te, tranquilo tú, compa. Ya sabes que te
I'll
amo.
take it back. I take it back to you.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want you to start getting phone calls, Chiva, instead of me. Like I'm kind of tired of it. Not gonna lie, but
anytime I try to call Tony, like the phone goes straight to voicemail. So I think he has me blocked.
I'm on do not disturb, homie.
He just doesn't want to talk to you.
I'm top gunning it, bro.
Pero cuando él me marque y no contesto,
what's going on?
Bueno, pues, no me hables.
He gets all angry.
If you're on the video portion, you can scan this QR code for free tickets. Again, I want to give a shout out to Justin Brown who helped set this up tonight. That's the first thing I wanted to do is check that out. But for free tickets for this event, you can go ahead and check this out. So look at the website, follow them on Instagram. It is the SDI. It's ¿van a cambiar el nombre, güey? Así, like
¿Se va a quedar así o qué pedo?
El SDISU. El SDISU.
No, dice, no puedo. If I speak, I get in trouble.
If I speak, I get in trouble.
I can confirm.
That's fair. That is fair.
Like
but
that.
You know what? Name whatever it may be. whatever it's going to be called, it's going to be cool people like Remy. It's going to be cool people like the Riptides, 18th Battalion,
Los Madrosos de
USG
San Diego.
18, Dago Boys, the locals, puta madre, los Riptides, o sea, Obi, ¿quién se me olvidó, güey?
Battalion.
Battalion,
Battalion.
barra 18, barra
Pues
18.
te olvidaron todos, güey.
Son 7, güey. Pues también, güey. Like, but it is the Independent Supporters Union, and that's what's coming up. Remy, anything else that
Yes, sir.
we should all know kind of coming up with you guys?
Not at the moment. I mean, this is the first of many events
Mhm.
for the year. I think you know, time's ticking. Days are counting down very fast. Next year is around the corner, and I just want to encourage everyone that's excited about this and they think that this would be a good fit for them to come out. Check us out. Join the union. Obviously, we're gonna have perks for ticketing and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that more down the line. But yeah, I hope to see a lot of people out this Friday. Come join us.
Come join it, and really appreciate that, Remy. Ahora te voy a dejar. Dale tragar a tu perro que te está ladrando. They say, wow, wow, please feed me. Kidding. But no, Remy, thank you for your time, man. And I like that they sent corporate Remy. Hey, you clean up pretty well, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was not.
Yeah, I didn't comb my hair, but
No, I'm not talking about the hair. I'm just talking about
uh,
hey, what's up, fool? The commander Remy, the enforcer Remy. Like that's what I was expecting right now. But I got
there's a time and place for everything. I
Remy, yeah, hell yeah, Remy. Thank you for your time, man. Check out the Independent Supporters event on Instagram. You can get free tickets. Remy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Let's go Padres.
I like that. I like that. Let's go Padres. Señor Green. There we go. All right, Remy. Gracias, vato.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. That was very disarming. I did not expect. I mean, I knew it was Remy coming on, but like,
you didn't tell me it was Remy coming on.
No, I want to see your genuine reaction for
wild.
that. I wanted to see your genuine reaction for that. Thoughts on Mikey going to the Right to Dream Academy overseas? So actually, we do have some insight on that. So it's both him and best friend, like literally, like they are inseparable right now. Tyler Heaps and him are just pen pals and just writing to each other. Like, they're best of friends right now. It's good. It's good that they're doing that because they need to really feel and see in person what is going to be the lifeblood of San Diego FC, what is going to be feeding the mentality. This is where the players that are coming through these walls, through these gates, are going to be programmed in a certain fashion. They're going to be fed a certain diet. They're going to be taught certain things. They're going to be trained in a certain way, not just as footballers. They're going to be trained in a certain way as individuals, as people. They need to see what type of people they're going to be getting through, right? Because again, let's put this into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego FC had tryouts for thousands of children here in San Diego and in Tijuana. Thousands, literal thousands. And they were people who weren't able to make it to that. There's just so many people in San Diego that wanted an opportunity, in Tijuana that wanted that opportunity, that just didn't get it. For those of them that did get it, they had a chance to join a short list of around 50. From there, those 50 then gets distilled to 25. From that 25, they are going to join the already existing, this is before the tryouts, already existing 50 top prospects that San Diego FC has identified in San Diego. And they've been training with the team. They actually trained a week before at the Olympic Training Center, a week before the actual open tryouts here in Chula Vista. And so, again, just kind of gets you that idea of if this is just the first iteration. They're just looking for talent, somebody who fits, somebody who has the right mentality, somebody who has the family dynamics that they're looking for, because that's really important in having conversation with some SDFC officials. That's something that's really ingrained in everybody through Right to Dream, is that they might have a kid that's a super talent, but if his attitude and outlook isn't the best and a right fit for Right to Dream Academy, this is what we're being told, they'll look elsewhere. They won't have them on, because if it's just not going to work for the system, they're not going to invest in that individual. Same thing with the parents. If the talent is there for the kid, but he's surrounded by an environment and a parental structure that's not going to be positive and conducive to the way that Right to Dream need things to go. They're just going to say, look elsewhere. Out of all these players, 25 will make the first roster of youngsters to be representative of the Right to Dream Academy. This is the crop that will see some players coming in 4 years from 2025. So we're talking 2029. In 2029, from those original 25 players, you're talking about perhaps one, maybe two players that you're ever going to see for San Diego FC. Other players will choose elsewhere. Other players will choose different opportunities. Some players will go to college. Some players will decide differently. But it's good that Mikey Varas and company are going over to see exactly what they're receiving as the output of the academy and how to put these Lego pieces together, because I think that's a lot of kind of team building now, modern times. It's not just fill this spot with a talent that's possible and available. Like, no, it's a rigid Lego piece that needs to go here. It's a foundation. We need this type of goalkeeper to start this type of to have this type of defense, to see the game in a certain way, to feed a midfield that's going to be able to go both ways, to be able to then be bang bang on the wings and be able to close and really play as volantes and really be able to use those wings to the most fullest potential, but be able to come back on defense, but rely on your defenders and your right wing backs to come up in attack, all feeding through the middle of a sound core based on possession that's going to be high attacking and high everything and high octane when it comes to the MLS team. So that's going to be something to look forward to. How many in the NP? Quien sabe? Hey, Chiva, what do you think about this?
I mean, the way you're explaining everything, right, and the way they're gonna move on from players if it doesn't fit their style, then that style better work. Because if you pass up on a talent that generational talent because that player didn't fit your style, and then that player goes on to do big things in their career, and then it's like, wow, the one that got away. We see it all the time with different clubs, right, where they sell a player a little too fast in their earlier in their career, and then the player ends up being like, we saw it with Chelsea and Mo Salah. We saw it with Chelsea and a bunch of players.
Yep. I mean, you were talking about San Diego sports, and Remy confronted you, and you pitter patter there a little bit, but
I did not.
Let me tell you, it happens in San Diego sports a lot too. There's the list of World Series winners that played in the Padres. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm checking here in the comments in the private chat if Abe wants to join in on some of this. We're going to bring him on. Abe, you gave me a mid right there.
I don't know if I want to join in. I don't know if you want
to, but I just threw you in here. Looking and just answer these. How many next players team? It's weird setup because there's not going to be a direct MLS next team. There's going to be associates. So far, City SC here locally is going to be one of those associates that fills that. But Abe, what are your thoughts on all this?
So your City SC, you're not going to have your Right to Dream Academy as your. That seems like why even have the Right to Dream Academy? What is that even for?
It's the Right to Dream Academy will supply players. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be an actual just a competing team.
I mean, Right to Dream, you're gonna have 12, 13-year-olds. You're not gonna have 12, 13-year-olds in the MLS next.
Yeah, exactly. And so there are very lower divisions of MLS Next, MLS Pro, and like those programs that are coming up. But again, they're still gonna be being represented, and I think that's the structure that they're gonna have. They're gonna be having and talking to some of the coaches locally as well on a youth side of things. And that's where like people like Esteban, right? Like I see him out there. We have a couple buddies that are coaches around town, and those are the conversations that are being had. They're trying to sell local coaches as well on the Right to Dream model and the positives of this. And hey, you need to start learning to coach this way. And again, it's a really cool, interesting education part of the program that extends beyond the 90 minutes. First team 11 players out there, right? It's a bigger project, and I'll give SDFC the credit right there because they deserve that for at least the attempt and the ambition for it.
Yeah,
Um,
and just
yes.
going back on something somebody said in the comments, like depending on results, what does this first season mean? I was looking into it. The Mets' first season ever in MLB, they had 120 losses. They were the team that the Chicago White Sox just beat, and now the Mets are like one of the bigger teams in MLB. So just take that into note. Like they might have like a horrible season, but then eventually with time, like I don't think this MLS team is going anywhere. I think we're gonna have to get used to covering them for a very long time.
Abe, you didn't have to go to the Mets for that. You could have just said Manchester City. Absolute dog shit of a team when they first started. Just they were the other Man City team and other Man United, the Manchester team, and it's just years of just misery for them. And then money comes in, and then they build one of the world's greatest teams, soccer teams that the world has ever seen.
But this is the anti-Man City. SDFC is the anti-Man City. They're building it from the ground up. They're building it from grown. They're
No, I'm just saying at
kids.
the point of like,
No,
hey,
I know.
like when teams
I know.
start, like sometimes they suck at first, and that's okay.
Also with this team, we call it something different than SDFC for MLS Next. For example, Seattle Sounders have Tacoma as their MLS Next team. Yes. Short answer, yes. For that one. But yeah, I think it's an interesting proposition that SDFC is putting out in the community. December again is highlighted as the hot time for SDFC when it comes to player signings. There is one name being floated out there. There is one name being floated out there in terms of being the potential next designated player for SDFC. Still early on. Again,
Press the button. Say it. Come
Press the
on.
button,
Say it.
Say it.
Say it. Don't
He
be a
doesn't want
chicken.
to because his
He's a
sources are not
chicken.
confirmed.
He's a chicken. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew. What?
the degeneracy of this podcast and the fact that like
Are we not going to talk
there's
about
real
Abe's
fire.
chicken noise? Pew,
There's
pew, pew, pew.
that's a chicken in Spanish. Let's just clear that up. That's
Pew,
a chicken.
pew.
He speaks Spanish. Abraham speaks Spanish. Abraham Martin Cepeda speaks Spanish. Martin
Pew, pew.
Abraham. No, Abraham Martin.
Martina.
Who's the next
Martin
signing,
Abraham.
Tony? Say it.
There's going to be developments happening here for San Diego FC as time progresses. Again,
But what's the rumor? What's the rumor? I know you know the rumors. What is it, Tony?
I like it. I'll just say I like being in this position right now. Currently, if you're watching and seeing me squirm on this, maybe. I mean, look, maybe there are names being floated out there. There are meetings happening. It is an international affair. Anything is possible. Cállate.
Not down, Abe.
Chicken.
Tomorrow's National Taco Day, by the way, guys. Hey, today's National Podcast Day, and on this day of National Podcasty,
Break the
I
news.
want to go ahead and
Come on, Tony.
You used to be a real journalist, Tony.
You
You
used
know,
to
you
be-
used to
you
break
used to
news.
not
You used
sell
to
out
not
to the
care.
man.
You would get calls from the team. Like, come on. What
Te
are we
valía
doing?
madre todo bien chingón. What
I mean,
happened?
I mean,
He sold
Thomas
out.
Among has Right to Dream experience. I'm just saying. No,
Se rompió tu micrófono.
I know. I was just looking at that. I'm
¿Qué
like,
pedo?
what happened here? World Cup happened. That is very unfortunate.
That's very broken.
Thank you for changing the subject here, Abe. All right. But I'll just say, December is going to be a great time. November
Yeah,
actually
it's your
maybe
birthday in December. It's
for
Christmas.
San Diego FC and in November, December might be seeing a couple of press conferences coming up at Snapdragon. Nothing like Chucky Mania. That is not happening. Again, if you were there, you were there. If you were there for Lunai, great. Like, very happy for you. But in any case,
The next biggest event's probably going to be their Cholos game, right? I think
yes,
that's probably it.
yeah, and I mean, just for the optics, it'll be basically. No me asustes, güey. You know, we got Ratatouilles in here, bro. The next event will also have to be correlated with the uniforms for SDFC, which is
Oh, that's right. They need to come out with some.
December.
Oh,
most likely very much around the time of player signing. In any case,
so you may get some phone calls.
EAFC might leak that. They've done that in the past.
They've
You
done
gotta
that
be
before.
yes, they
careful
have.
by that.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, they have. I'm sure Mikey and Tyler are probably meeting with possible DPs in Europe. Negotiations are very difficult and international right now because technology is such a prevalent thing where a lot of these negotiations don't require that unless it's in the final stages. I'm sure that some of these talks aren't necessarily at that final stage just yet, but I think this is more of a tour of Right to Dream for Mikey Varas, for Tyler as well, but more specifically for Mikey Varas, and then him trying to build that team and build build up his assistants in terms of having somebody who aligns the Right to Dream play style with his own play style, his own analytics, with Tyler Heaps' own way of seeing the game. Right? They say that they're very similar, but I'm pretty sure there's ways that they're different. One would hope. Grand reveal of the San
I
Diego
did see
Performance Center.
Tyler Heaps was in France.
He was in
So
France.
that could be
He was in
interesting. Any
France.
French players out there? Come on.
There is
Breaking
one.
news.
There is one French. There is one player who plays in the French league that Tyler Heaps has a keen eye on. That is one Lindsay Horan. Just putting that out there. Just Lindsay Horan snubs San Diego Wave, signs for SDFC. All right. So I think we'll leave that there. There are a couple of events, as Esteban is alluding to, that the Performance Center is coming together. Like the latest renderings and latest work that's being put out there it's coming together. Like they are very close to finishing the last netting and laying the concrete and foundation. Then boom, start putting some grass on there. Out in Singing Springs in Siquan tribal land. Speaking of tribal, that was a new partnership that they have with them. But all right. I think we'll leave SDFC there. Is there anything SDFC related that we have, gentlemen, boys, lads?
I mean, San Diego FC had a team participate in the ISFA World Cup qualifiers.
I like that. And you know what? I think that brings us a little bit more community aspect to this. So with that, we'll just go ahead and bring in the community segment, which is El Zarape de San Diego. And you're the guest, Abe. Apparently, Chiva doesn't know that we can have segments without
We usually
guests.
have a guest.
We
for
usually have a
Zarape.
guest. And guess what? We are the guests here because we were involved in a World Cup. We did it, Chiva. This is this podcast. We told ourselves we're going to make a World Cup. And by God, we did. In the form of being the commentary team for the ISFA Street World Cup that happened in Los Angeles this last Saturday. And let me tell you, what an adventure! It was a really cool adventure that we were a part of. Brought to a large part by Paul Nathan Naku from Bridge Barcata, who again held the regionals and is putting this together with a bunch of people around the world. Actually, a cool little video that we were tagged in is that we pulled off this stream and there's people in Japan that were live streaming the tournament because their tournament for the qualifier for the World Cup was that same day. So they were scouting this tournament as they were waiting for themselves to play.
Interesting.
I looked at the demographics. There was a lot of most of United States viewership. Viewership extended from Venezuela, quién sabe cómo, to Brazil. And we had some viewers over in Europe, obviously Japan.
Nice.
But it was a very cool international affair.
Checking out the USA talent.
Yeah, no, it was really dope. And so this is a really cool place to have this. Bola, one of the sponsors and main organizers here of the national tournament. I didn't think we were going to be able to pull this off. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. I was expecting there and have everything fail. We took our entire podcast setup and then hooked it up to a
really nice
camera. I know what you know, Abe. You know what a red camera is?
No, I don't.
So red camera is about just that is about $7,000, and it looks the $7,000 camera looks something like it, it's just this part like that. That's just $7,000. Like it's
legit.
crazy. So we had no right to play with one of these things. There was a professional camera operator, obviously, there, and so he did the marathon of 4.5 hours. It was really cool to be a part of this, and we saw a San Diego FC related team represent San Diego as the team here locally. So the winner of this tournament goes and qualifies for the actual World Cup in Riga, Latvia. That's going to be in the country of Latvia, not Latveria, where Dr. Doom is from, but Latvia. Chiva, you had some insight of how cool Latvia was during the stream because you watched The Bachelorette.
Yeah, season 16 of The Bachelorette, Hannah Brown season. They traveled to Latvia, Riga, Latvia, and it looks phenomenal.
It's to Riga? They went to Riga. Okay.
Latvia. Like, it's beautiful there.
I did not know that Chiva was a bachelorette. Stan.
Bachelor Nation all the way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I will tell you something. I learned something during the stream of Chiva, and it was exactly that.
Yeah. Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Golden Bachelorette currently airing right now. Get to watch that on Thursday, so I'm excited.
It's a new wrinkle in your thing, and like
you all have the shows you guys watch. That's okay. I have mine.
Grey's Anatomy
I
season
watch a little
1.
bit. Yeah, my sister and I watch Love Island sometimes. So
you see, there you go.
I've heard about Love Island.
I heard about it, but I don't want to get into it.
The Illuminati was messing with the broadcast at some point.
Sure was.
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi Illuminatis. Sure aware, but
as we see there, the SDFC Chrome Azul. I'm just gonna put them together. The representatives for SDFC.
They were the only team in the tournament that did not have a 4th or 5th place. They had no subs the whole tournament.
And I think that's what I'm telling you right there is that I can't believe it.
They don't have any subs.
They don't have any substitutes.
We sat on these wooden benches for 4.5 hours. They didn't have cushion. Dope facility. Dope benches. But our butts were hurting after a while.
My ass still hurts.
My back was hurting a little bit. We had to stand up a couple times.
Whoa!
You guys have it too good. All right. You ever sit on some bleachers to watch a game? You guys are soft now. Come on. Now first we're not breaking news. Now we're complaining about commentating the World Cup. What are we doing? You guys. Come on.
You want the smoke?
Yeah. Tony just.
Riga sounds like rigor mortis. Kendrick Lamar has a song called Rigor Mortis. That's unironically one of my favorite comments. I don't know why, Edwin. I love that. I don't know why I love that, but I love that. What are we talking about here?
Oh, absolutely.
No idea.
Gotta cheese it up for the
What are we
camera.
saying?
Get all those good angles. You can check it out, everything out at San Diego.football right then and there. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the second game here of the match of the tournament. It's gonna be San Diego versus Los Angeles.
40.
SD versus
There
LA.
was a lot of.
We got San Diego over on the right.
There was
with
10
the
teams
SD jerseys, and then we have
games.
LA over in the black.
Absolutely. And this went on for a while. There's a team from Salt Lake City who's playing right here called Calle, who they don't have numbers. They have pigeons because where they play pickup soccer in their area in Salt Lake City, Utah, it's filled with pigeons. There's a lot of just backstories like that of just like people coming together doing this. The team from Tennessee, shout out the team from Tennessee who was really cool. And we actually met them after the tournament and before the tournament,
Nashville,
because we were locked out for about an hour of this facility because the owner had left. And he's like, I'm in Pasadena and I'll be back until later. And we're just kind of sitting out there. And I told you, we should have taken a ball. And you're like, and we should have taken the ball. We could have been kicking the ball around for a while, but
sure could have.
Either way, it was Footbar Nashville. with the name of the association of there, and it's like the Bridge Barcata of
Mhm.
Nashville, and their team very international. They had 3 Brazilian gentlemen. You had Luca, you had Rafa, and then you had the 3 guys, and then you had Luke. Was it Luke?
Luke, did you?
No, not Luke. Did you? It was like a Luke Wilson, like just the whitest white guy you can think, but that guy can play.
Then you also had the Sacramento team who had Yoga apparently has patent.
We never confirmed
the Rabona
whether he had actually
Fun
patented
fact.
the term Rabona or not, but he played like he did, and
He
that's
was
the guy.
the 7th overall pick for the MASL draft as
Yeah.
well. So he was definitely very good. He's probably one of the best players in the tournament. Their team didn't end up making it to the playoffs, unfortunately, but he was very, very, very fun to watch. His number 8 was the $.
This is just incredible here, and then like so this right here, what you're watching is a semifinal.
No, this is the final.
The final, excuse me, where it's an 8-minute game. SDFC has no substitutions. No substitutions.
Play the gloves down.
You had oh my god.
El
Pardo,
El Mágico.
El Mágico playing, who is the taller of the gentleman, who apparently I played against because he's around my age, and he actually remembered me after. I'm like, hey, where did you play in TJ? He's like, oh, I played here and here and here. Like yeah, and like you used to play with this guy and this guy, didn't you? I'm like, oh. And he played in the same team as Alejandro Guido. I'm like, oh wait, did you play with Guido? And then he's like, no, he's actually a year older than me, but it's the same academy. So I'm like, oh, okay, just kind of putting things together.
That didn't happen, Abe.
In the semifinals for San Diego FC. As I am dancing here.
I have it if you want.
Do you have it? Go ahead and throw it on
the
there, please.
1-on-1.
Go ahead and put it on there, please. If it's a tie game in the 8 minutes of regulation in the knockout stages, it goes into a 1v1 sudden death situation, golden goal. And Chiva, you have it here.
Allowing it due to injury.
Very tense in there. On that full screen.
Diego here.
Finds the space. Here's the goal!
I went back too much. Sorry, guys.
Is about to happen.
I went back too much.
It's
but that was a goal.
Goal of the week for San Diego Punto Football.
That was my goal.
Greats.
Try it again. Find it. That was really intense, and that was an intense matchup. And they beat Austin. They went through the gauntlet. They played against a team. There was a team from New York that went undefeated. SDFC's team also went undefeated. They did not lose. They tied, but they did not lose. And again, they only had 3 people, no substitutions. It's a roster maximum of 4, but that 4th person is crucial. And so I think Chiba has it ready. You have it ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Allowed. Referee's going to allow you due to injury. San Diego here fighting
What
for it. Finds the space. Here's the goal!
San Diego. And then the Illuminati cut the feed.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they got it right there. As no es Pavel Pardo.
Did you guys call the goal before it happened, or was it a bit delayed? Because that was a really cool goal.
No, we called it right
we
before
called
we
'cause
saw
We
it.
saw the ball was going in.
Dang, what a,
Yeah, no,
what a
it was we were in sync. But essentially
Yeah, the San Diego team was down 3-0.
in the semifinal, and then they tied it in the last seconds to go into that sudden death situation.
Hey, when they were down 3-0, I said this is a very San Diego thing to do.
Yeah, you did. I don't like your language when you speak that way.
Then they went on to face Salt Lake City, who was in the same group as them. It was their first game for Salt Lake City against San Diego.
And people were showing up
They
from everywhere.
tied 3-3
Yeah.
in the tournament version of this. And now they saw each other again in the final. And this was a very tight, intense game overall.
No, it really was. And you don't plan on making mistakes. You don't want to make mistakes. I want to give a special shout out to the referee, Richard, who just showed up with these made up rules and said, hey, I want to go for it. was the clock operator. We were trying to be just the cronometrista, taking care of the clock and helping him out. Here you see one of the 3 players go down, and you're like, uh-oh, this is the final. This is the championship match. This is not good. He stays down for a while, comes back up. What a warrior. Continues. Okay. Que se agarró el, que se agarró el pilín.
Se agarra el huevo y ya.
Yeah.
Dale, ya, déjame comer el huevo. Síguele.
And so, yeah, the match continues, and it's an intense matchup. Nobody wants to make a mistake. At the end of the day, SDFC.
A lot of teams were
I'm
using
just
this
gonna call it
tactic
SDFC.
of putting sending the ball over and it would touch the top net, so that would make it out of bounds. But yeah, no, this team was just competing and
Trying to find the actual goal.
yeah, no, it's you had it in that play and you moved it. This was the first one, Tony. If you want to go back a couple seconds. But yeah, no, the first goal, they kind of chip it over La Pena, and it's like a wide open goal. It was from there. Yeah, it was just a great.
No other option than to try to play it up in the air.
As John Cena once said, that the time is here, the time is now. These 2 teams
Wrestling
have no tomorrow. Word life.
I hate you.
This is basic thugonomics, Chiba.
Got out of play here. This is the chance.
The power of John Cena.
San Diego going up 1-0 for our Salt Lake, who is trying now to come back and tie this back up. There's plenty of time for anything to happen.
There was
Here
plenty of time.
comes.
And at the end of the day, I mean, isn't that magical, Abe? Just John Cena, the power that he has. Say his name and he appears.
You need like a swear bucket for wrestling references during your soccer broadcasts because
Every
it's too
single
much
time
at
you
this
hopped
point.
on, yeah. No,
Every genuinely, hopped on when they were playing here in San Diego. He was talking about Kurt Angle. I hopped on for this one, and you were talking about Teddy Long, and now you're freaking quoting John Cena for no reason.
Absolutely,
it just came up. No, it just came up. You try and connect it at all, but there's genuinely no connection at all. It's insane.
No, there isn't.
There really isn't. My favorite one to also do is that I'll just throw in a Triple H one where I'm just like, look, at this point of the game, at this point of the tournament, it's all about the game and just how you play it. It's all about the moves.
I hate you so much.
But yeah, eventually San Diego's team comes back once again, scores a second goal. And from downtown all the way down, El Mágico Garay scoring the second one and sealing this victory for San Diego. As look, SDFC, San Diego, this community, Bridge Barcata, Chicano Futsal, Esco Futsal, will have representation in Riga, Latvia. For which it's going to be cool. And people were watching. People were watching from San Diego, from all over. Salt Lake people were watching. New York people were chiming in. They were telling us fun facts about people. It was really cool. Shout out to, again, the Calle movement out there.
Yeah, people were tuning in. Everyone was very interactive.
Moving into the World Cup stage. Congratulations once again to everybody who's joined us, who's been a part of this. Everybody who's put this together, you see the hearts, you see the celebrations. Everybody is happy coming on down, making it happen. Congratulations to everybody involved. ISFA, you can hire us for San Diego for the football. We have passports. You can take us. We will be down to go to Riga, Latvia.
We are definitely down to go to Riga, Latvia. ISFA, let us know.
We need to. Give us the green light.
We can do
putting ourselves on there.
With that, we're going to say thank you for joining us. Thank you.
And we did thank everybody. Thank you for Bola. Evolve Soccer LA. It was honestly so much fun. It was really cool to do. Congratulations again to the 4. There's 4 players. 3 were able to make it. And even then, they were still able to make it. Let's go, boys. Hopefully you guys get the gig. We actually contacted the ISFA, and they're kind of sort of down, but it's very, again, street soccer. As we know, this tournament could have been played with 2 backpacks and no budget.
Yeah.
None of this was paid. It was all out of the goodness of our hearts. There was times in there where you were like,
for a lot of people that
ended up participating in this.
Yeah. It's just for the love of the game, for the love of the game. And with that, it's going to go ahead and bring us to the close of this with our final segment. And Abe's going to join us here. And we'll start there with the great, because this is goals, gaffes, and greats.
We have to start with a goal. And
All
I
right.
kind of, I mean, you showed it earlier. We showed it earlier, and it was the goal for San Diego FC, for the San Diego team, just to get into the final on that 1v1. That 1v1, Tony, lasted a good 5 to almost 10 minutes.
Yeah, it did, because
in fact, we didn't even know this. I don't even know if the ref knew. You're not supposed to be able to sub out on the 1v1. And the player for I think it was Austin was just absolutely gassed, and I think he ended up cramping up.
Yeah, so you see it right here. Like it was just a moment where the player just couldn't, like these players have been playing a whole tournament, and the physical toll it took was incredible. This is Austin versus San Diego in the semifinals. Some really good defending, some really good patience. Player was unable to continue, and now allowing a player with relatively fresh legs to come back in. And even then, and Makiko Garay here on the one-on-one situation. What I loved about this is that as soon as this one-on-one started, the two other players for San Diego left, and they knew this is his.
Yeah.
Like, this is his gig. This is what he does. And he really just...
No, he ate that new guy up that came in. I'm sorry, but you saw that space, and we knew that was gonna go in. That's what we meant, Abe. Like, he found that space, the shot was there, and like that was gonna be a goal. And that to me is the goal of the week, just because it put San Diego into the final after coming back from a 3-0 deficit and being able to pull off a victory. Very much something San Diego sports don't do. I'm gonna keep riding that train to this episode. I don't care.
Yeah. So shout, yes. What do you thought?
Amazing goal, amazing opportunity. You know, when you get someone like that's on new legs, there's just not. He's not at that same level, same speed, same pace.
The
I'm
rhythm.
Sure.
Mhm.
The rhythm, that's the word. And once he comes out, and you can just tell, like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of this guy. Like, this is easy for me now. Like, the other guy was exhausted, but now I have someone that's not in my rhythm right now. I'm gonna go for it, and that's amazing.
100%. And I mean, shout out to the San Diego team. It's going to beautiful Riga, Latvia.
You think they watched The Bachelor? I like. Well, we got really good reviews.
Have you looked up like what Riga looks like?
Do you realize they're gonna play in a hangar?
Yeah,
like
but
in
you're
a
still going
literal
to Riga.
market?
Like, look at this. It's beautiful.
Show it. Show it. Show it. A ver, pues. I've seen better. I've seen better.
Mira qué chingón.
Okay. It's okay, güey. It's okay.
I think that's cool.
I'm looking for pages that don't even exist.
The players' names?
No, like I'm looking at things. I'm like, why did I even use that? But yeah, so El Mágico Garay, Jan was another player on there, and then El Buena Cesar Pardo, lefty representation there. And so I think the goal was spoken of, but I'll just say right there that they are just going to be the greats of the week as well. I think it's one of those things where qualifying for such a cool thing is really awesome. And representing the city of San Diego. And let me give you something else. Son de Tijuana. So it's a regional thing. Actually plays very well to SDFC what they're
the
doing.
Dallas team had a Russian guy, so
They did have a Russian guy called Russo, aka White Chocolate. Really, really good player. Looking at the time, looking at what our ways of doing things. Do we really want to show it?
What?
The gaff?
I mean, the gaff, it was just the ref getting in the way of the goal for Gotham. It's a gaff. There not many gaffs happened this week. And then
I'll give you this. My gaff is, and Abraham was there, is going to a UPSL game a whole hour later than I should have.
Pásense de lanza.
And
Trade of the week. just Melanie Barcenas getting her first NWSL goal, and then also just the ISFA, everyone that put together this national qualifier in LA. Those are our greats of the week.
Shout out SDA Football, San Diego Football. Check it out on SanDiegoFootball.com. I want to say thank you for everybody. What about throwing stuff on the field? Yeah, that was pretty bad. See you guys.